Sky Pirates, chapter 27. Look, we're nearly done. Very close. Okay, chapter 27. Echo landed with a bump and skidded down the tube on her bottom, pulling Horace behind her. The slimy carpet of weed cushioned their landing, and a shallow trickle of water that flowed down the base of the tunnel swooshed them along into the darkness. With each twist and turn of the tunnel, they skidded up the sides and back down again until Echo was quite dizzy. It sounds like it's just on a water slide at an amusement park. There's lots of water slides in Brisbane during the summertime, I think. Lots of Queensland anyway. You can see if you can get one that goes down to a dragon's lair where there's lots of gold. Who knows? That was close, she yelled above the whoosh of the water. You tricked me. Horace's voice wobbled with fear. You shouldn't have done that. We'll be eaten alive. Safer down here than up there. We'll see about that, whimpered Horace. Still, the tunnel went on, going down and down into the heart of Mount Enoch. Soon it was pitch black, and still they kept sliding. If only we had the glow jar, Echo shouted back over her shoulder. Then we could see where we're going. I don't think I want to see, said Horace. Oh, who knows what's down here? Wait, I can see something, Echo blinked. There was a dim bluish light in the tunnel up ahead. She could see the next bend. As they got closer, she saw the ceiling was covered in some kind of glowing blue mold. Look at this, she yelled as they whizzed past. What? Said Horace. On the ceiling. Echo turned to look back at him and saw his eyes were squeezed shut. Look up, Horace. He dared to open one eye and squinted at the ceiling, then gasped. Oh, how fascinating, he said. Phosphorescent lichen. That's a great term, isn't it? Phosphorescent lichen. Can you say it? Phosphorescent lichen. Pretty cool. Echo pushed herself upwards and leaped for the ceiling, grabbing at the lichen with both hands. She managed to rip a handful free before coming crashing down and spinning on the slippery tunnel floor again. Try to get some, Horace, she shouted, as she slid down the tunnel, now head first and on her back, clutching the fluffy glowing fronds to her chest. Horace reached for the lichen himself and managed to snatch a bunch with both hands. As Echo rocketed around another bend, she saw him dangle for a moment before the lichen tore off, and he tumbled back down into the tunnel and careered helter-skelter after her. When will this tunnel end? He panted. Echo swung her legs round and righted herself as she kept sliding. Her heart was racing from a strange mixture of excitement and fear. They'd escaped the other Sky Pirates, but what was waiting for them at the bottom of this long tunnel? And how would they ever find their way out again? That's a good question. Not just what's going to happen when we're down there, but assuming that everything goes well, how would they even get out? They couldn't climb back up the tunnel, I don't think. Too slippy. As they rounded yet another bend, Echo suddenly realized that their crazy descent was slowing. She could sit upright now, and the walls still flew past, but she wasn't being flung around every time they turned a corner or shot up the side of the tunnel when it spiraled in on itself. I think it's leveling off, she shouted back at Horace. They slid round one final bend, and in the light of the glowing lichen, phosphorescent lichen, Echo saw the tunnel opened into a wide greenish pool of water. Her heart fluttered with relief at the lack of dragons or anything else waiting to eat them. She whooshed down the final straight. Hold tight, she shouted. I think we're going to... The pool swallowed Echo as she hit it with a splash. She bobbed up again and blinked. Horace popped up next to her, coughing up water. Gilbert swam a leisurely lizard paddle in circles around them. Now what? Said Horace, glancing around nervously. He shivered. It's spooky down here. Echo took in their surroundings. The pool was in the center of a wide, high-roofed cavern. The ceiling was here. Oh no, the ceiling here was covered in the same glowing lichen. What's the term? Phosphorescent lichen that they'd found in the tunnel, and the light cast eerie shadows on the water. Echo could make out another tunnel opening on the far wall, and two more to their left. I guess we take one of these, she said, but which one? They waded out of the pool and on to the rocky cavern floor. Gilbert sneezed water from his nostrils, and Horace wrung out his sopping shirt sleeves. Echo glanced around. Stalactites. Do you know what a stalactite and a stalagmite is? A stalactite is like a spike that comes down from the roof, and it's formed from things that drip, 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 and then over a long time the dripping makes like another piece of rock and another piece and another piece and another piece, and then it comes all the way from the ceiling down. That's a stalagmite. And a stalactite, it goes up from the ground. Anyway, there were stalactites in the ceiling, hung from the ceiling, and water ran from their points with a steady drip, drip, drip. The cavern was cool and smelled of wet stone and pondweed. Echo reached into her bag. Maybe the compass will help, she said. She clicked open its silver casing and examined the face. The dragon wobbled and spun for a moment before settling. It's pointing here. Echo traced the line. The compass seemed to be directing them to the two left-hand tunnels. But which one? Come on, she said. Gilbert clambered up her leg to find his perch on her shoulder, and they crept forward into the furthest tunnel. Bunches of glowing lichen, phosphorescent lichen, held aloft. They hadn't been walking for long when there was a whooping, hooting sound from up ahead. Horace jumped and dropped his lichen bunch in shock. Echo froze. What was that? In her haste to get down here to find the dragon's lair, she hadn't considered there might be other creatures around too. Gilbert's jaws tightened on Echo's shoulders, and he let out a tiny chirrup that Echo knew meant, oh no, owls. You're right, I think it is owls, she said. Are you sure it's not ghosts, said Horace. Worry etched on his face. Are you sure there's not ghosts? That's silly. Oh, Echo rolled her eyes. Don't be ridiculous, there's no such thing as ghosts. Horace flushed. It sounded spooky. I don't like it. Well, shh, don't worry. Echo raised a finger to quieten him. It wasn't owls at all, but voices. A tingle of fear ran down her spine. The other sky pirates, they didn't have much time. Echo, we should get out of here. Well, what do you suggest? Echo hissed. We can't go back up the lava tube. It's too steep and slippery. Even if we could get all the way back up, we'd be caught by the other pirates outside, and then where would we be? We could go back and try a different tunnel, but the dragon is pointing this way. Horace huffed. How do you know if that thing's even working? I just know, okay? Look, we're going to have to figure out a way to get the cutlass. Once we have that, the other sky pirates will have to do our bidding, but we don't have much time. Horace wrung his hands. We can't face a dragon. They're dangerous and clever too. Nobody ever managed to take gold from under a dragon's nose, not even the Knights of Nordland. Echo thought for a moment. There must be something you've learned from all your reading. Don't dragons ever leave their lairs to hunt? Horace thought for a moment. Yes, but not until nightfall. They're nocturnal. Couldn't we sneak in now while it's asleep? No. Well, there must be a way, said Echo, although privately she had to admit that the whole thing seemed impossibly dangerous. But something inside her wouldn't let her give up, and she kept on walking into the eerie quiet of the tunnels. The pirate voices seemed to have faded away, and the only sound was the squelch of their soggy boots on stone and the thud of Echo's heart in her ears. Haha, that's the end of chapter 27. Next one is chapter 28. We will find out what happens next time. Okay, Good night, Papa.